A very good morning to you and welcome to Today at Keeneland. We hope you enjoyed opening day, and overnight we did receive some rain here in Lexington, Kentucky. We'll get you the latest weather update from our friends at WKYT in just a few moments. But as good as the opening day card was yesterday, Gabby, this one is even better.
It is, and that's actually something impressive to say because we had a Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint champion come back in the winner's circle yesterday, but it was a great day yesterday. The weather overcast, but it's still, any day's a good day to be here at Keeneland.
Yeah, we don't expect any more rain, at least we don't. We'll see what WKYT tells us in their professional opinion. But as far as what is going on today, hopefully you enjoyed yesterday. Hopefully you pulled up all right after the party because, sometimes you get a little aggressive on opening day. It happens, but we hope that you come back to us here at Keeneland. But as far as yesterday, picture-perfect day, big crowds on hand. We had an upset in the opener right off the bat, a $29 winner in that maiden allowance race. And so she sprung that upset. Mean Sophia was able to do that. And then we saw Honey Bunny come through for us. The mayor was here proclaiming it national or local races day here at Keeneland Racecourse. We saw our Alibi spring a bit of an upset, but outside of that, Louis Vaporizer admission office was very impressive. And here's Bulletin with Javier Castellano for the WinStar Connections and Todd Pletcher, who was sensational. Good speed out of the gate and kicked on down the lane.
That horse is so fast. I mean, even Abyssinia and the filly in there for Wesley Ward, she was pressing the pace. She faded for third. The fact that he kept continuing on and getting the victory there was very, very impressive. But overall, a good day for Joel Rosario. He brought home 2 winners, so we'll see if that momentum continues today.
And as far as today, it is one of the most popular days that we have each meet here at Keeneland Racecourse. It is Scholarship Day, College Scholarship Day. So $30,000 in total in college scholarships, Gabby, will be handed out to college students who show up here at Keeneland.
That's right, and there's going to be 10 $1,000 scholarships awarded to those college students, and on top of that, 2 Run Happy $10,000 scholarships as well. One's going to be awarded to college students, and one is going to be awarded to industry-related college students.
You can register for the college scholarship contest, if you will, at the College Zone, and that's in the North Terrace. You can start registering at 11 a.m. And full-time college students, if you come out with a student ID, you're going to get in for free. But time now to talk about weather from our friends at WKYT.
Good morning, Keeneland race fans. Meteorologist Adam Burson here in the WKYT Weather Center. After some rain early on this morning, conditions looking a little better. These temperatures eventually warming up into the 60s as we go throughout this afternoon and even into this evening. We're going to keep those mid-60s around for your highs. Some scattered chances for rain are still around, so we will have to be careful of that, especially as we head into this evening. Maybe a light isolated shower passing by here and there, but overall a nice dry day, maybe some sunny skies coming out later on this afternoon as well. Have a good day at the races.
Did I hear maybe some sunny skies? Did I catch that correctly?
I think so.
That'll do. All right.
Okay.
We appreciate Adam from WKYT on that weather update. But yesterday at our full card selections, Gabby and myself, we parted ways. I've not seen what you're doing today.
And nor have I.
And it looks as though we're agreeing in the first 4, pretty much in the most of the card. We've not gone away from each other all that much.
Yeah,
a little bit in the feature.
A little bit in the feature, and no, the first half of the card looks like we agree a lot. The last race I thought was a little bit confusing. The feature race is very interesting as well. Some undercard allowance races. So I get this is maybe a good sign that we agree. We agreed on I think one race yesterday, and that was Honey Bunny. She won. She
did. She was, 2 to 5, 3 to 5, so no surprise there. But she was in a tremendous informed filly and one of the few that was able to close over the main track yesterday. If you missed any of those picks, head over to Keeneland.com. We've also got write-ups and summaries for each and every one of them. And also give us a follow on social media, at Keeneland Racing on Twitter, at Keeneland on Facebook, at Keeneland on Instagram. And you can also catch Today at Keeneland each and every day on TVG2. Give them a follow at TVG2 Network. You can access TVG2 if you don't have it via your cable or satellite provider. If you download the Watch TVG app, you can access that in HD by way of Amazon Fire Stick, Roku, as well as Apple TV. We encourage you to check out the Watch TVG app. It is the best way to check out TVG in HD. But it's time now to get into our featured event. It is race number 9 on the card. It is the 31st running of the Keeneland Utilities Transylvania Stakes. It's a Grade 3 event. one scratch, Kentucky Utilities, Transylvania Stakes. Scratch out the 3-horse Go Away, who was a big long shot. Go to the outside to find the morning line favorite. That is Henley's Joy, a horse that was second last year at the age of 2, right here over this turf course in the Grade 3 Bourbon Stakes.
Yeah, he definitely looks like the horse to beat, but he's gone against some familiar faces in here, including Life Mission, who's posted to his outside, and Louder Than Bombs. I think there is a potential for maybe some horses to maybe overcome certain trouble trips in the past. I thought it was a really interesting race, and the road doesn't necessarily have to go through Henley's Joy, although he is the horse to beat, surely.
I am going with the horse further to the inside and going to lean again in the feature race in day 2. Did it yesterday with Wesley's filly in the Palisades Turf Sprint, but I'm going to go with the 2-horse On the Way to Neverland. This is a son of No Nay Never, who's run 4 times. He's 2 for 4. He's only been beaten twice, but both of those attempts, he's ended up finishing second. His race at Santa Anita was sneaky good. Once he hit the lead, he kind of got lost, and then Stubbins ran him down. Stubbins ran last week in the UAE Derby on Dubai World Cup night, so you've got to appreciate that form. But last time out in the Rushaway, he took a big step forward. He settled off the pace. This was at Turfway Park on the synthetic track, and you can see him right now. When Rafael Bejarano asks for something, he gets a lot from this 3-year-old gelding. So this was the first time going past 7.5 furlongs. The 7.5 furlongs at Gulfstream was a 2-turn effort, but he doesn't skip a beat late in this race. I really like On the Way to Neverland. I have a feeling we could see this horse back at Santa Anita at the end of the year running in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, because I think that Hillside Turf Course race was good, but On the Way to Neverland is the one for me in the Kentucky Utilities Transylvania Stakes.
I have to agree with you with the Rushaway Stakes. I mean, he was very impressive because he's such a fast horse, but he proved that he can effectively rate, and I think that's encouraging as he's going to get to 1 1/16 on the turf for the first time. But I did go in a slightly different direction with the number 7, Louder Than Bombs, for trainer David Fox. And I wanted to look up a stat because I know Dave Fox doesn't normally ship in horses to Keeneland. He's only had 3 horses start here over the past 5 years. One of them was Sheer Drama, who won the Grade 1 Madison back in 2016. So usually when he comes, it's with a good horse and is reasonably placed. So I want to take a look at Louder Than Bombs' last race. This was in the Palm Beach Stakes. And to me, it was a slow pace in front. We saw a thread of blue be more forwardly placed in there. And maybe, you know, his move, his rally was a little bit too delayed. He just ran out of time behind a seemingly slow pace. But I like the fact that Luis Saez is aboard him today. To me, he is a closer, and he needs a very strong finisher, a strong rider, and that's what you get with Luis Saez. I know you look at the race a few starts back in the Pulpit where Henley's Joy beat him by 4 lengths, but it was a completely different pace scenario. I think he's going to get the pace that he wants in front of him, whereas Henley's Joy, you know, I still think he kind of has to prove something today.
I agree with you there. One other horse quickly that you have to consider and should outrun the 10-1 morning line, the Black Album. That was a tough Breeders' Cup Juvenile turf. He was beaten by Line of Duty, who right now is one of the leaders over in Europe for Godolphin for the Epsom Derby, the English Derby, which will take place here in just a couple of months' time. So really looking forward to the 31st running of the Kentucky Utilities Transylvania Stakes, but time now to check in with Tom Leach.
We're here with Jeff Bloom, and the Bloom Racing Stable is the owner of Henley's Joy in the KU Transylvania Stakes. And tell me how he's doing.
He's actually doing quite well. We had a little bit of a breather after sampling the dirt and the Risen Star, so he's back to his home game on the turf and doing really well.
And he likes this turf course.
So far, so good. We had that near miss in the Bourbon Stakes, so hopefully we turn the tables a little bit and get the win. And we definitely know he has an affinity for the course here.
As we tape this, rain is in the forecast, so if it comes up with some give in the ground, I know he didn't seem to handle that well at Breeders' Cup, but were there any extenuating circumstances?
Yeah, I mean, we'd prefer a firm turf course, but as it turns out, he was actually sick. So he came down with a fever, and we didn't know it at the time. So, you know, it raises the question, was it the give in the track combined with not feeling well? And hopefully it was just more he was sick, and it's not going to matter what the condition of the track is.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
It's Jeff Bloom, Henley's in the Transylvania.
Once again, Tom Leach coming with some fantastic information with
great
his interview.
insight. Yeah, I know for sure, because you would think, given the fact that he's by Kitten's Joy, he would love a little bit of given the ground. I mean, how well do Kitten's Joys do with softer turf? So maybe that's a race that you would consider just drawing a line through, and he might just love the conditions of the turf today, which is listed as firm. We have not gotten a lot of rain, but it is going to be a little bit softer than what we had yesterday.
And Jeff Bloom Racing, I mean, they are on a roll over the last couple of years. Midnight Bisou is the headliner. There's she right now. Her and Monomoy Girl, who's been sidelined due to colic for about 3 weeks, they are the leaders of the distaff division. So Jeff Bloom continues to knock it out of the park. But as we move along with our key race analysis, I'm going to take you to race number 2, Scratch Out Main Squeeze. And Lady Pauline installed as the 2-to-1 morning line favorite. This is another baby race. These are 2-year-old colts. And Lady Pauline, as Wesley will do, is a filly taking on the boys.
That's right. And of course, Lady Pauline is the half-sister to Lady Aurelia. And it was just about this time last year, I think it was the end of April, that we saw Lady Aurelia debut and actually break the track record here for 4.5 furlongs in her debut. And she went on to have such an illustrious career. And we see this performance. This was actually in the Giants Causeway when she got the victory. I mean, look at her, just accelerating down the stretch. She was just such a fun filly to watch, and all that I would imagine the ride that she took Wesley Ward on was just absolutely incredible. So naturally, Scott, you know, you get a horse like this, you get siblings trained by the same trainer, same connections, and you want to compare. So I mean, do you think we're going to get 2-to-1 on her? I think she's going to be really, really heavily played here.
There's no chance. She's odds on.
Yeah.
You're not going to get even money on her, because right now, this is the time of the year, and we talked about this yesterday, and even though Wesley didn't have a 2-year-old make it into the body of the field in the opener, he's getting these horses ready for Ascot. The Queen Mary, the race in which Lady Aurelia absolutely blitzed with Frankie Dettori during her 2-year-old season, has to be the target, so get her going now.
Yep.
Then he'll start working her over the grass course at some point on down the line, see how she does, and I would expect to see her at Royal Ascot. But this is his game, as we talked about.
I mean, Wesley plans these things for months in advance,
Yes.
and the Keeneland Spring Meet has been used as such an important springboard for his horses at Royal Ascot, especially as 2-year-olds. So, you know, I wanted to point out this race, not so much as a betting perspective, because I think Lady Pauline is going to be a short price favorite, but I do think she's going to be very talented today.
No question about it. So we look forward to that in race number 2. Don't forget that does start the early pick 4, which is a 50-cent minimum wager. I want to steer you to race number 6, a high-level maiden allowance race going 7 furlongs with a $79,000 purse up for grabs. And the outside filly, Del Mar May, is the 6-to-5 morning line favorite. I think she is clearly the horse to beat. She's a Keeneland graduate from the September sale of 2017. They paid just $55,000 for her. She's still looking to break her maiden, but she has twice run against top-level competition in Southern California in graded stakes company. In her debut, she was beaten by Brill, very highly thought of filly back at that time in Southern California at Del Mar. And then her second career start, which we'll take you back to in the Grade 2 Sorrento, she ran into Bellafina. Bellafina got loose out on the front end, and Del Mar May had a lot of ground to make up. Now, Bellafina would come out of this race, and as you can see in the past performances, would win the Grade 1 Chandelier. Del Mar May did not make the transition to routing. They've given her 6 months off. I love the fact that Baltus showed up here early, which he did last year with Next Shares to go on and win the Grade 1 Shadwell Mile at a big price. So the cutback in distance for this filly and the competition that she has kept in all 3 of her races is much more difficult than what she is facing. Again, 6-to-5, much like the filly for Wesley in race number 2. You just hope that you can get somewhere near that, because I think that she'll be extremely short as well.
Exactly. I think the first half of the card, it looks like there are some pretty tough favorites to beat, and I agree with you. I would not go against Del Mar May, but Samurai Queen, this filly, I would actually have a tendency to use in this race, because remember, you and I were both on site for the Tampa Bay Derby, and she ran behind Proposition, who was a really highly regarded Mike Sidham first-time starter.
Right.
So I actually thought that race overall came up pretty tough. So if you're trying to make money underneath of the favorite in here, I thought she was an alternative.
And the 7, too. She's got a lovely pedigree. Blip says bye, and it's another Wayne Catalano first-time starter, as she'll debut at the age of 3. All right, I'm going to take you to race number 7, another top-level allowance race. This will be run on the turf course. Scratch out the 1A, scratch the 9, 10, as well as the outside 15. But my horse in this spot is the number 10 horse in here, and that is Offering Plan, a horse that has been so good over the course of his career, in my opinion. Let me just fast forward. The 8, excuse me. Thank you, Gabby.
You're close.
I'm struggling
It's
many
the
things right now. The 8. The mic is not cooperating. We've just got a lot of moving parts right now. Offering Plan, Javier Castellano. This is a horse for Chad Brown, who's come off of some tremendous efforts in New York, and he's run against some very, very tough competition. This horse finished 3rd in the Forbidden Apple going back to July at Saratoga, or Belmont rather, to Voodoo Song. And Voodoo Song would come out of there and win a Grade 1 event at Saratoga in the 4-star day. So this is a horse who has faced some very, very stiff competition, and I think that he has a huge look in this spot today, which it is a very wide open race. But I want to take you back to April 8th, race number 6 of 2018. And he ran a very, very big effort, coming wide off the turn. And I expect to see this sort of effort again from this horse Offering Plan today. A very, very strong run here at Keeneland. And it's almost a year to the day in the same kind of allowance race. This is an allowance race written for just about everybody to be eligible for. This is a stepping stone, like we saw with Instilled Regard yesterday. So a year ago, same condition. I think we see the same result from Offering Plan in race number 7, the number 8 horse.
Yeah, you and I were talking about the conditions of this race because it's very unusually written, and it opens the door to horses like Arklow, who has competed in a Breeders' Cup race, the Breeders' Cup Turf last time out behind a navel. So you get, I mean, yes, it's listed as an allowance race on paper, but it could easily be carded as a graded stake. All
right, we're just going to continue on down the line. Race 6, race 7. Now Gabby takes us to race number 8. Stage left, the number 5 horse is a scratch. Also scratch out Cave Run. Gabby, wide open event, Intrepid Heart, so flashy in debut. He's 3-1 on the morning line.
He was very flashy. This was the kind of the buzz horse for Todd Pletcher when he shipped out to Oaklawn on Southwest Day, I believe it was. And he was obviously on the undercard. He was backed by the betting public, going off at 90 cents of the dollar. Of course, he is by Tappet. He's a half to commissioner, so with that pedigree alone, you would think that he would have promise. Get the prize to his inside for Al Stahl. It was very impressive in his debut, too. My concern with this is the potential fast pace. Intrepid Heart, he was on the lead. Get the prize. He's stretching out. He was on the lead at 3/4. Now he's got to go a mile and a 16th. High Crime, who was so fast. He blew the doors off the field 2 starts back at Gulfstream, going 6 furlongs. I just think that with all these sprinters stretching out to 2 turns, it's going to create a very fast pace and a potential pace collapse. So that's where I did land on the number 2 U.S. Navy Cross. And we'll take a look at his debut. You know, I do think that he has to improve in order to win. I didn't like the fact that he kind of regressed in the Nashua. That said, he lost behind the soon-to-be favorite for the Grade 2 Bluegrass tomorrow. And I just think that this horse is well posted to the inside. He's going to get a good trip in front of him, and he's got kind of that foundation underneath of him. So U.S. Navy Cross will do it for me, but I'm very, very excited to see this race because I think there are some talented horses in here that really could do something in the second half of the year as 3-year-olds.
I was having a conversation with somebody last night after we left the races, somebody I highly respect. Said this might be the best other than allowance race we see the entire year in 2019, and that is a not far off opinion, and it might turn out to be that way because these are horses that we could see end up on the Triple Crown Trail, say Preakness, Belmont Stakes, once we get to June, to May as well as June. But it's time now for the Clocker Report, and not surprisingly, it takes us to race number 2, where Lady Pauline put together a workout on the 22nd of March, worked 3 furlongs in 35 flat, much the best in a set of 3, out in 48 and 3, despite being eased in the final 16th of a mile. That's scary.
Wow.
That is frightening to see that last bit on Lady Pauline for the rest of this this group that she'll be facing. And then Coast Buster, like a new horse after a long layoff, needs to move forward, demands a price. Nice half-mile drill in 47 flat. And the other thing I will say about Coast Buster by Ghost Zapper, Ghost Zappers are tremendous on off tracks. So if it doesn't dry out too much, and I think it'll be fine even if it does, but Ghost Zapper horses move up on an off track.
Well, he came in off of the layoff last time out on a sealed track. I believe it was sealed and good, and it was his best race by far in his career. So if the track holds up like that, I mean, he is in the last race, so it might dry out by then. But right now it is currently sealed and muddy.
All right, multi-race exotic opportunities, early pick 5. Don't forget about that. That starts with race number 1. Race number 2 is the early pick 4. But today, TVG presents the late pick 4, and it's guaranteed at $200,000. And as it should be, it is a challenge. You're going to want to invest some money if you're playing this 50-cent minimum wager. So, Gabby, steer us in a direction.
Okay, we'll take a look at my ticket, and I kept it at $45 here for the sequence. Now, I am a little bit concerned that I did not use offering plan, but I wanted to keep it on the more affordable side, and I really do think that Projected comes out of stronger races. My concern with him is that he has 11 seconds and only 6 wins. Sometimes he doesn't want to pass other horses coming down the stretch, but he does get Jose Ortiz back in the irons today. I think the horse to beat, though, is Arklow. This race seems like it's written for him. He's coming back since the Breeders' Cup turf, so I'm only going 2 deep there. In the next race, that's that allowance race, I wanted to use the 289 U.S. Navy Cross, my top pick, who I think will close, but you can't deny or ignore the 2 outside runners with the 8 Get the Prize and the 9 Intrepid Heart. And race 9, the Grade 3 Transylvania, I thought this was a spread race. I, of course, wanted to use your top pick On the Way to Neverland, but also was curious about Avi's Flatter in there, Louder Than Bombs, Henley's Joy, and even Life Mission. I think they're a little bit closer in class than it may appear at first look. And then in the finale, using the 4, 6, and the 7. My weird play is the 6 Strike Revenge. He's getting to the dirt for the first time. He's strictly raced on turf, but that was up at Woodbine, so he's got the pedigree to suggest he'll be just fine, or in fact maybe even improve on the dirt.
So a $45 investment from Gabby. I'm going 36 as far as race number 7. I will go 4 deep. Arklow, I think, gets pace today at a mile and a 16th. But talked about offering plan. He's so good at this distance. He's 9 for 10 in the money at this distance, so you cannot ignore him whatsoever. As far as race number 8, the 2 U.S. Navy Cross, for the reasons which we explained, if things fall apart, he should be right there. Get the Prize. He was very, very good in his debut, running 109 and 4 at Fairgrounds. We'll see if he can transition to a route by Candy Rides. Suggests that he will. And then Intrepid Heart, the horse to beat, in my opinion, is the one to beat. As far as the Transylvania, I will go 3 deep, and then I'll go 2 deep in the finale. The 1 and 6, I think the 6 is the one to beat in that spot. And there was a scratch in there of the 12, which led me to the 1 to keep the $36 going for the late pick 4. So those are our pick 4 thoughts. As far as best angles of the day, all right, I will start in just a moment.
Okay.
We're battling on, Gabby. We're battling on. I will go to race number 8 and go to Intrepid Heart, a horse that we have talked about, we will continue to talk about, and I think we'll do so in the days to come. Here's a look at the field again, but you know, this is a horse on the outside. I don't think that he needs to go to the front end. I wouldn't be shocked if Johnny Velasquez tries to get this horse to settle off the pace, given the draw that he has and the other speed in this race, and you know, just try to go with Get the Prize, kind of sit in that stocking spot. So I really, really like Intrepid Heart today, and I think you're going to get a solid price because the money's going to be spread about between U.S. Navy Cross. High Crime will probably get some attention. Stage Left will likely get some play. Get the Prize, and then of course Intrepid Heart. So it's going to be a really nice wagering race. I think the favorite goes off in the 3-1, 7-2, maybe even 4-1 range once the dust settles.
Yeah, and it could be one of those situations where we look down the road like 3 months later and we look back and we said, oh, we got 4-1 on this horse who's going against whatever,
and
grade 1, grade 2 company,
again.
and it'll never happen again. So we'll see about that. But for my best angle of the day, I'll go to race 10, the finale. Hopefully we can go out with a bang here, and I'm going to just box a trifecta here for the final race. I was mentioning a couple of horses in here. The number 6, Strike Revenge, is one of them for Neil Howard. Like the fact that he's on the dirt. He's been actually working really well on the dirt, but I will also use the horse that you mentioned, Coastbuster, especially if the track has a little bit of moisture in it. The 4, Fuel the Burn in there, and the 7, Time on Target, who does look like the horse to beat. Box them up. Hopefully we make some money in the get out race.
All right, that's Gabby and myself's best angles of the day. Let's visit now what Tom Leach has in store for today. He's going to stay in race number 8, and he's going to take a bit of a swing on a 6-1 shot with the number 3 horse, High Crime. Out of a Smart Strike mare, should love 2 turns. Forgive the last out because of the super fast pace in which he was involved. Gabby, you were there for that Grade 3 Swale Stakes. I'd like to hear your opinions on High Crime today, taking on this stout group.
He's very good. Let me tell you, like when he won back on the 12th of January, he blew the doors off the field, and it was a good maiden special weight. But he did come back, and he chased Carl Paul, who went wire to wire. So I do think that overall it was a productive race. I mean, the last place finisher in the Swale came back to actually win a stakes at Tampa. My concern is if he can harness his speed. He kind of just looks like he's got one-turn sprint speed. So the 2 turns, along with other pace in the race, is my only concern. But there's no doubt about he's got a tremendous amount of talent.
There's a mindset that some handicappers and top-level handicappers have, that even if a horse doesn't necessarily want to go 2 turns, you get their best effort the first time that they go 2 turns. So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying it's going to work out with High Crime, because I think this is a stiff spot to be going 2 turns for the first time. But when you see a horse going for the first time where maybe you're a little hesitant on the pedigree, keep that handicapping angle in the back of your mind. So with that being said, a wonderful day 2 of this spring meeting here at Keeneland Racecourse. We've got stakes action. We've got some horses that we'll be talking about for weeks to come. Tomorrow, don't forget, a huge day of racing headlined by the Toyota Bluegrass. We've also got the Central Bank Ashland, the Grade 1 Madison, the Grade 2 Shakertown, the Grade 3 Commonwealth. We've got stakes action on Sunday as well with the Appalachian Stakes, as well as the Grade 3 Beaumont. And today, come out for you college students, free admission.
Free admission, just bring your college ID.
And $30,000 up for grabs.
That's right.
$30,000.
Can't beat that.
Could use a couple of dollars, but I'm well beyond the college age.
Make it at the windows with your picks.
We will. We're going to crush it today. For Gabby, Tom Leach, I'm Scott Hazelton. First Post 105. Enjoy day 2 here at Keeneland.
At Toyota Motor Manufacturer in Kentucky.
This is Toyota's largest manufacturing facility in the world.
Let's go take a look.
Come on.
Toyota has invested over $8 billion in this plant alone, producing over 11 million vehicles.
It's all part of Toyota's commitment to the beautiful state of Kentucky.
Helping to create jobs for nearly 25,000 people. You gotta love that.
Toyota Camry, built in the USA.
Toyota, let's go places.
Ladies and gentlemen, Keeneland welcomes members of the Transylvania Singers, Transy's newly reinstated treble choir. Comprised of students from all majors and all years, this non-auditioned group meets twice a week and performs 4 concerts per year. Directed by Dr. Regan McNay and accompanied by pianist Angela Eaton, they sing a wide range of musical styles from Gregorian chant and German art song to gospel, folk, and pop. First, My Old Kentucky Home.
The corn tops rise.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glance, the bombs bursting gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
At this time, Keeneland is proud to recognize Oscar Chavaria from admissions as the Employee of the Day. Oscar, congratulations.